Good evening, this is Mary Conley, and it is December, what is the day? The 7th, I believe, 2021, Tuesday. I would like to give some points on why I believe that Bundy may have been here to kill Virginia Helms. Some people look at it on the face and say, no, he was buying gas on the 26th and the 27th, or the 26th and 28th. He made a phone call from somewhere to Liz, I assume, on the 25th. The girl was abducted the 28th or 29th and murdered. At that time, they have the Jacksonville International Airport. They have the Salt Lake City International Airport. The trip from Salt Lake City to Jacksonville, if there's no layovers, is 5 or 6 hours. I assume the same now as it was then. Here's my reasoning. When he worked for Medline, he was caught picking up a picture, a glossy picture, or a picture that was in a frame on a desk. If you take a driver's license and you know you got to get a picture that's about the size of a thumbnail, and you're simply just going to glue it on there and put tape over it, glassine tape, or you could even put it in one of those little plastic folders. If you look at the picture and you say, oh, it's Brian Williams. I'm trying to think of a name. We'll say Bill Williams, or Billy Williams. Okay, that's good enough. It's not Ted Bundy. But he's got this driver's license, but the guy doesn't look anything like it. He's servicing people that are handicapped, probably with cerebral palsy, heart and lung cancer, everything. He's got to take different things from the medical supply home to the individual patients and sometimes to businesses. Very easy. He knew how to roll people. These are the words of Miss Ferris, they call her benefactor, an older lady that he had befriended. He worked the Seattle Yacht Club and the Olympic Motel, shoe shops, different places where there was and in Medline, where apparently he had interactions with handicapped and disabled people. It was Medline where he picked the picture off the desk and was, what are you doing with the picture? If you think about it, and you've taken somebody's driver's license, but they're blonde hair and blue eyes, and you're standing there. You put your thumb across that picture, you realize, gosh, that head size right there, that teenage boy is exactly my size. You're going to take a scissors, very sharp razor, and just cut out the silhouette, tape it onto the old license, fold it up a little bit, crumple it, say it's been through the dryer, put it in a plastic voucher, use cellophane tape, clear Scotch tape, and voila, you have a driver's license. The woman from the yacht club said that he rolled people, basically. He would get people that were intoxicated. He was a valet. He drove them around, drove them back to their homes sometimes, she said, when they weren't too intoxicated to drive. And he took some of their money, she said. Another time it said he sampled bisexuality at about that time. If you read the program, the little girl went missing. She had walked up the road to get some dish soap or hand soap, I don't know which. She was 12. She's older than I thought. She was 12-something. She went up the road and was going to buy soap of some type. A day later, a couple ran across a red Volkswagen on New Kings Road. It was disabled on the side of the road, so they said, well, see what's going on. So the wife told the husband, and they pull off and start walking towards the vehicle. There was a small girl in the back on the floorboard trying to pull herself up. But she couldn't move, didn't say anything, and seemed to be stunned or dazed. At that moment, the driver jumped in the vehicle, leaving a duffel bag on the ground, and hightailed it out of there. Later, her body was discovered on Beechwood and Beach Boulevard on a wooded lot. You say it's impossible. Let's look at the recent history of Bundy at that period. He had killed 2 people in July and used his own name, displayed his Volkswagen. Several people saw it, several women saw. Said his name to a couple women, and they also observed the tan Volkswagen. 2 women, very unusual. He moved to Salt Lake City in the 1st of September, killed somebody apparently hitchhiking on the way there through Idaho. And on the 18th, 19th, he takes his brother Glenn, who would be 20 at the time, to his 28. He would have been our age, born in 54. So he would have been 20, and he would have been, the brother 20, he's 28. add a couple years to the brother and subtract a couple years to the other brother, you have a pretty tight squeeze there. He could have told him or someone else, I'm going to be gone for a couple days, use my Volkswagen, but I think I have a gas leak. So I'm going to leave my Chevron card here with you. I want you to use it. And I'm going to give you $7. If they don't take it, just say, oh, I'm sorry. My brother said to use it, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and give you the cash instead. Back then, if it's busy in the afternoon, you put $2.50 in, they swipe it and go. I mean, are they going to ask for something? Maybe even left a driver's license with him. You say, well, how did he get to Jacksonville? He rolled somebody. Some guys in the military is going to go in the service. He gets him really intoxicated. He rifles through his wallet, takes out his driver's license and a MasterCard. You say, well, why wouldn't the guy didn't use a MasterCard that much? Okay, this is all hypothetical. The man didn't use MasterCard that much. People didn't use them. Some people just had credit cards if they had a dental emergency or a flat tire while they're traveling. It was just an emergency thing. It's there. Use it in an emergency. That's what Mom and Dad taught you. Plus, guys go in the military. You say, well, wouldn't he notice that missing place? When you open your wallet, you say, where's that little white car with the red, orange, black on it? When Bundy was picked up in Pensacola, he had 21 credit cards. Okay? So he was adept at doing this. If you look down at the wallet, he just used an invalid one that he knew was no good, and slide it into that folder. You don't see your name. You don't see your bank. All you see is a strip of white with orange, black, and yellow on the top of the line. If it's a Visa or the credit cards used at the time were gold, silver, and blue. Bundy may have had an extra couple of them that he knew was no good anymore. So he's going to roll this guy, gets him drunk. He removes the credit card, slides in one that looks similar to it. If you open your wallet, you think you're looking at the same thing. You don't pull it out. You look down at your wallet and say, oh, there's my Visa card. It's navy blue. And you see the top of the V and the I and the S and A. You see the very top of it. Doesn't show the bank, doesn't show your name. It just says strip. So the guy may not notice it for a long time. He goes to the airport. Also, another brother. Brothers are jealous. The youngest brother was about 13, born in 61, 12 or 13. So sometime during that phase, he says, okay, Glenn was with me for 2 weeks, now it's your turn. So, but then he takes, I guess, Richard over to Utah, and they spend a few nights out and stuff. He says, they got to go. And Richard's very upset. He even says it in some film. He's talking about it. He said he was real upset, and he took him to the airport. And he had this grimace and concerned look when he was looking at the flights going to and from. Because earlier that year, he had used a flight and he could not control himself anymore. And he wasn't controlling himself there, and he knew he was going to get in trouble. So if Glenn was with him for 2 weeks, from the 19th until about the 28th or 30th, from the 19th, it would have even been longer. Then it definitely covered the 2 or 3 days it would take to get to Jacksonville. It's possible. But see, as a policeman, you say, okay, they're using the Chevron in Colorado, they're using it here and there to show his whereabouts, and 99% of the time they're right. But he played tic-tac-toe with tags. He was in the print shop during prison trying to make IDs. As a youth, he had taken ski tickets and bleached them off and used, his sister's arts and craft thing to put new dates and stuff on them so they could go to the ski lift, right? And if he used somebody else's Visa or MasterCard or something, or Diners Club or whatever, to buy them tickets, you'd buy the tickets at the airplane. You say, I'm going out today, got to go take care of something. And he goes in and gets him an airline ticket. You get a round-trip ticket. And back then, it would have been like 2 movie passes, one to board and one to come back. And even if that guy discovered his Visa during the 3 days you're gone, you already have that ticket in hand. You have his messed up driver's license or student ID or something that shows you that you're Billy Williams. And Billy Williams just has a wallet with a couple of things missing. He may report it missing, but you've already used the MasterCard to get the ticket. Ticket's in your pocket. You go to Jacksonville, you do your thing. And also, that's what I'm saying, is since he did such a large thing at Lake Sammamish and such a large thing with the move, And he said, why did you kill Karen Parks 260 miles from Seattle, and the other girl with like 50 or 60 miles from Seattle, the Ellensburg one, Susan Rancart? He said, because I wanted to change it up. I wanted to change my M.O. Brenda Ball was a change of M.O. I went to a bar instead of using a collegiate girl. He went to a bar instead of a collegiate girl. He goes out of town, 250 miles away, and the other woman in Corvallis, a little girl. So there's nothing to say he didn't fly. He talked about flying an interview with Mrs. Hoffman. He's an adept at theft. All you'd have to do, and say, well, Glenn said he was only there 4 days and he went back. Well, he could have used someone else. That girl that met him, he could have made his phone calls to her residence, so there's no trail of the phone calls. He called someone on the 25th. It doesn't say where he is, and then it shows 26 and 28 Visa Chevron. That means, in this instance, it may not mean anything. He played tic-tac-toe with tags, and he could have just as easily... When he picked that picture up at Medline, I think he wanted that picture because he could cut a silhouette of somebody out and glue it to a tag or something, glue it to an ID card. I have an ID card. I didn't like the picture. I put a different picture on there. Then I put it in one of them envelopes, and it's fine, They had plastic. They had big sheets of Scotch tape, an inch and a half wide. You just... glue it on, tape that thing over. Nobody was the wiser, so it went through the washing machine or something, So, yes. If you look at the M.O. of Virginia Helms and the couple seeing the Volkswagen with a child in it, they said that was a girl. That was her. She was in the back of that Volkswagen. She was dazed and couldn't stand up. That's right then and there. He could have rented a Volkswagen, Hertz and Avis up at the North Airport. Also, the vicinity of her abduction on Main Street. Main Street runs into the airport. I think Main Street is Main Street is US 17. Same one that goes on up to Brunswick. Same one that's right a couple blocks from my house. So he could have gotten on that. And if what I'm telling you is the truth, the god-awful truth about me and Debbie in 1967, that was a bright red Volkswagen that he had rented from somewhere and came. So he was making a mark. He was showing something. He was doing something different. So that's why I believe it's quite possible that it was him. Thank you.